Yeah. So last year, our tax rate was 0.2108. And this year, she sent us the certified value of $139,942,050, and then calculating all of the taxes. So we, of course, will need to go down because the tax appraisals went up. So the rollback rate this year is 0.196978. So basically 0.197, and that will help us. That will meet our budget, and we'll have a balanced budget. And that's on this page. So the main changes is for the current taxes, we went up $7,000. Delinquent taxes, we went down $1,000, and the tax penalties and interest, we went down $1,500 because most everybody pays up front nowadays. The Intex franchise stayed the same. Phelps had told us they were going down, so that's down. Phone the same. We went up to 135 on sales tax. We're forecasting we're going to make 145, but we don't want to be that brazen. Right, yeah. And so we left the utility commission the same, park revenues the same, court fines the same, and that number may not be that high, but if that's not that high, then where it comes to the court expense on the fine tax, which we are budgeting $64,000, that will be less also. So one tends to kind of help with the other. Lease revenues, we don't know. I know what I was wondering about that. Have we gotten, did they sign that lease, and have we gotten that money from them yet?
Oh, no, I know. That's what I was thinking about also. We should be getting that.
We should be getting that. So that'll be.
Never read it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're drilling.
I heard. A big one, right?
And Chuck, I asked about the water thing too. When they're drilling, they can't use the gray water.
Oh.
It's not till they frack that they can use the gray water. So
Well,
that
they're
makes,
getting it from down the road.
Yeah.
Where they're getting it from is easier than up the across the county roads.
right, and
I
so
don't know if
that's
they're
part of
getting
their. That's part of what they weren't wanting to have to build ponds and all that stuff. Building permits, we're still sticking with the 5,000, and that could be better. Who knows?
Are we gonna, and I had a note, the only reason I asked is I had a note from our previous one. We were gonna review the neighboring cities just to see if we may consider. We can leave the budget alone, but I would like to get some knowledge of what the other cities are doing.
Or with what?
Building permits.
Building permits.
Yeah.
And that we can change at any time.
Correct. That's what I said. I don't want to mess with the budget, but that was a note.
Bank drive-through we lost, so that's 5,000 less. And then internet rent is about the same, and miscellaneous the same.
Yeah, because I didn't bring off Brooks, they didn't consider bringing them, they told us no way.
Well, I think, Buck, you talked to them too, didn't you? Randolph Brooks?
Yeah, they're not interested.
Yeah, they told me the same thing, they can move them out. They all surprised.
They like to have theirs on site,
Property on
more or
site.
less, right?
Yes.
Okay, so our budget comes to $793,603. And then all of there's a 3% raise for everybody. So that changed some of those things. Contract labor stayed the same. Engineering went up about 1,000 because Dean is doing more with the more building. He is working more. All that stays the same, We went up on the annual dues. What was that about exactly? Do you remember?
Just the dues, all the maintenance and all that.
Okay.
And I think this last year we had to pay for like Microsoft, those all added up.
Okay.
The money.
Legal and audit stays about the same, and really the most spent out of that is the audit. But the court is actually having a lawyer come down once a month or twice a month.
Once a month right now.
So that is costing, that's an expense that we haven't had before. So we'll see how that kind of plays. We will have to have an election this year because of the street tax. So in 23, we'll have to have an election. Hopefully The school will have one too, and we can share the expense. Pretty sure the school will have one. Tax service went up. Property liability went up a little bit. So on the admin, the budget came to $267,440. Police department, let's see, they got, of course, the raises too. And for the first time in a long time, we've had full force for a whole year, so that's really good.
Love it.
So everything, all that goes up. Phone data is going up. They're going to get a computer system, or they're working on a computer system that will have like a maintenance fee on each computer. So that comes to about $500, almost $600. And so that's why that's gone up. And then, you know, Marty's not here anymore, so we've got to move on and we have to have a computer aid. We went down on the postage. That's such a minute amount, it's not going to really matter. We went up on the dues and licensing, and we went up on the fuel. We went up on the fuel for them and the water and sewer, because obviously they drive around a lot. Municipal court, it's 16 for the income. Phone is 1,600. That went up just a tiny bit. Office supplies are about the same. Postage, training. And we went down on the fine tax, we just don't know what that's going to be yet.
Back to the fuel and the PD.
Yes.
That gonna be enough?
On the PD,
Yeah, it'll go up 15%. Gas is double the.
but it's kind of been going down.
Yeah.
What do you think? We'll see. What did you,
Where are we at now?
on the fuel, it was
Page 3.
9,500 and now it's up to 11,000.
Line 6520.
I think 11,000 would be sufficient for right now,
Yeah.
because it's good. Like we talked earlier, it's going to fluctuate, I think, for the next several months. It's going to go up and then go down due to the political environment. We just have to try to weather it out and see how it goes.
Fire department's all the same. Parks, we left pretty much the same. Went up a little bit on the lights. Streets. We went down the street lights. And we went down on the seal coat. Now, seal coat is the place that catches anything extra. So that varies. It doesn't really, that's not a, but the total expenditures are $793,603, so it's a balanced budget. And then in sewer and water, because we chose to go up to 2% on our rates, so that increases the water revenues about $8,000, sewer rates about $5,000, trash revenue about $5,000, and penalty revenues about $1,500. Other things the same. Water connections, we just expect we'll have more, so that's why those are up 14 and 14. And so that their budget is $1,054,000. And then you see how it goes out, 3% raise. So you get down there, a little bit more on postage for the mailing. Down on equipment and vehicles. Dues and license up 1,000. Water maintenance about the same. All these other about the same. We went up 8,000 on sewer maintenance. And then monthly refuse went up about 6,800. Tools and supplies up 2,800. Sampling inspection, that was one of the things he had asked that we go up on just because it's costing more to do that, up 1,500. Fuel up 10,000. So it balanced the 1,054,000.
So I have a question, and we probably should answer this before, but do we have any plan of extra money aside whenever it starts coming to maybe the water well thing sooner than later?
Oh, well, that's, right now, we put the 40,000 into the short term and 40,000 into the long term. Those are both.
So we are putting money in the plan for it now.
We're still saving money, yeah. We go, trying to find them.
Question maybe for Buck and the mayor is, do we have our new guy coming in is gonna have to get certifications and licenses? Is that,
That is,
Allowed for it here?
I think that that's covered here. We did talk about that Reggie is starting to do the work online, but he will not probably have his licensing until maybe February or March. So we probably are going to have to keep Buck's license on as contract labor for a few months, just because we've got to have the license for sewer and water.
so do we allow for that,
We
or?
talked about that.
I mean, I know we have some oil and gas money, is that something can be used to cover that?
Okay, we're gonna have some extra water money.
Okay.
When this year ends because of the drought and because people are using a lot of water. So we will have some extra money there, and maybe we can set that aside for 3 months of contract labor, maybe. Because we're gonna need to pay for that license.
So the general fund funds all this administration stuff, the
Right.
first 4 pages, and
Right.
this is separate.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
this is big.
I'm just curious, 'cause I know it's coming, you know, we all know the road's coming south, so I just want to make sure we're prepared.
Oh, yeah, we're still putting into the long-term projects accounts. So we put in 40,000 every year, in each one.
Okay.
So that's good.
And I guess, do we have a time frame? How soon you start looking at the sewer plant, and maybe upgrading that, or?
We're in pretty good shape with the sewer plant. I've asked, and we've got the screw thing coming to take the solids out. That's supposed to be, I don't know, we think that just
Hopefully
keeps
by the end of the year.
going on and on and on.
I'm just curious, because I know it's gonna be here before we know it, and I just want to make sure we're there.
Yep, we're trying to be
Inside, now, what's the story on the water cooling? Did that thing go up yet, or not yet?
next week.
Next week.
Next week, Monday.
There should be all kinds of activity.
I'm excited for it.
You'll see a big crane over there all week. You'll see it.
Sounds good, I'm excited.
To his point, so if we do get some extra money, where does it go? Which budget does it go to?
Okay, so if there's extra money in the water, it goes to
Well, not the
the,
water. I know the water would go to that budget, but oil and gas, let's say we get
that would go to general fund.
50 grand, it goes to general fund.
Could we just maybe use that to pay off some of the debts, like new meters, apply towards meter costs?
It's really not that beneficial to pay off.
Okay, I don't know, just asking.
It's towards the end of them already, it's mostly principal repayment.
Okay, I don't know.
It's like that.
Or general debt, is that what you're saying? Because there's not a lot left, right?
I think we have 3 years left on the original, or no, maybe 4 years left on the original thing.
And where does that come out of?
That is
Liabilities.
liability, 6960 on the,
Still think those meters are the best thing we ever did.
on that one, and then on the, what am I trying to say? Waterworks,
Yep.
and then it is
Same as
6960 on the general fund. We take 62,800 out of the general fund.
Got it, yeah.
88,000 out of the water. That should be over in about 4 years, I want to say. It's 24, so maybe it's only 2 years.
Yeah,
And then the meters go to 28, but we can even,
yeah.
I mean, just think about that, y'all. That's kind of exciting. I mean, that's a lot exciting. That's
Yeah.
$150,000 that's going to be to loosen up some,
That goes a long way.
goes a long way. Goes a long way.
And it will affect our tax rate, just heads up on that.
Oh, because our,
Yeah.
what you call that? Not M&O, but
The
debt
debt
is that-
service.
Is it a bond or
it is bond.
is that separate?
Well, it's a debt service, so I'm
Debt
trying to
service.
think of what.
So we don't want to pay that off.
So in general fund, our taxes are used with that amount. So when they figure out our tax rate, they take that into consideration. So we adopt the tax rate in 2 sections, maintenance and operation and debt service.
So we need another debt or something.
Huh?
We need another big debt or something.
No.
Oh, my
We
gosh.
do not need another big.
That's too silly.
Sarcastic, come on.
That, I mean, really, that we were able to The water is less of a worry all the time because, but
This is one of the easiest ones I think I can remember. I wasn't there for last year.
Yeah, some of those
This
budget
went
meetings
really
go on forever.
But to give Rose a pat on the back, she figures and figures and figures and figures, and I come in and go, well, wait a minute, what about that? And she figures and figures and figures, so Rose does a really good job.
Thank you, Rose.
Rose, nice job.
So we don't vote on anything tonight, but we're going to set this, and then at the next meeting, we can start voting on things. We set the rate at the 1.97, basically 1.97, and then, but we'll do it exactly what it says. If it goes over that, then we have to go to an election. So we'll do that. So, do you have anything else tonight? We're adjourned. Thank you so much.
No, I'm sorry, I
No.
had no idea.
Yeah, we changed it
It's okay.
because we didn't have